What's up? It's your girl T,
And it's your girl Dev,
and welcome to What's the Point podcast.
where we have real talk about real life as real friends.
All right, well, let's get into it. How you been,
Yeah.
Dev?
Yeah, welcome back, y'all. I'm doing good, friend.
That's good.
Things have been good. Life is good. What about you?
I'm doing very well.
That's
Doing
good.
super well. So, trying to get back into all the things, into the sunshine.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of my favorite season, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't like what comes with it.
Yeah, I love the springtime, but I agree with you. I don't all this extra stuff that's coming with it. The weather changes. The weather don't know
Mm-hmm.
if it wants to be hot, cold. Is it raining today? It's always changing. But we're making it. We're pushing through.
Right, we're enjoying it for what it needs to be.
Yeah.
So, getting into our icebreaker once again and playing a little bit of Would You Rather.
Yeah.
So, I can go first or you can go first.
I'll go first for this
Okay.
one. Let's see here. So, would you rather live in an apartment in the city or a mansion in the country?
Oh. Like, is a mansion paid?
Yeah, I would assume. Well, it doesn't say
Look,
that,
look,
but
it
we'll
doesn't
we'll
say that.
assume that both are paid
Okay,
off.
okay. Let me be realistic here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you a city girl or a country girl?
I would rather be in an apartment in the city.
Mm-hmm.
I like the city. Mansion, huge, country, quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Too quiet. Like I love hearing the ambulance trucks. I love hearing lots of cars. That's soothing to me. What about you?
I feel like it depends what stage am I at in life. Because I feel
Mm,
like currently, like I would take the apartment in the city, but I think when I think later on, like when I get married and have kids, I wouldn't mind living. But what's the country though? Like how close is the
and
grocery
how big
store?
is the mansion?
Right? If it's a mansion, like we talking like 6, 7 bedrooms,
Yeah,
a few bathrooms, a pool in the backyard, a nice front yard, a gate.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like,
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like how close is the grocery store? How close are my neighbors? That
Right.
matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say how far, like the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
everything is near me now. I literally can just,
yeah.
walk out to Starbucks, drive maybe a little bit, 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's there. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it depends because you could get the same with the city too. Like, all you have to do is just some apartments now they have like the little stores in the
Right. So
apartments.
that's why I'm
Like the
like,
city is you just walk. But the thing I don't like about the city is there's never any parking spots.
that
So that
too.
would really stress me out. But I feel like I would pick the city with the apartment,
Yeah.
especially if it's like a penthouse or a high rise,
I
like
need something
nice
close.
views.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely need a nice spot, like not
Mm-hmm.
just any apartment in the city.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, would you rather have a rewind or pause button on your life?
Hmm. A rewind or a pause?
Mm-hmm.
Probably a rewind.
Okay.
Yeah, probably a rewind because it's like sometimes things happen and it's like, ooh, I wish I could take that back. Like
Yeah.
if I could just rewind, then I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Pausing, I mean, what am I pausing?
Yeah.
So I would say rewind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would say rewind too, because sometimes you like, if I could go back in time and
Yeah.
switch that, I like how you said that. Like, that's kind of more where I say
Mm-hmm.
I resonate with a bit more. Pause. I can see pausing only being like, I want to live in the moment or this moment,
Mm-hmm.
or I went on a trip and I just had so much fun. I
Mm-hmm.
wish I could just like leave it here on pause, but that doesn't make as much sense to me.
Right, because with the pause, it's like, is everything paused and you're like moving around, or are you paused?
I don't know. Yeah, just give it
Like,
rewind.
yeah,
Give
it's
me the
giving
rewind
rewind. Let
button.
me just take it back a few
Give me the
minutes.
rewind
Yeah.
button.
Okay. The next one I have is: would you rather never read another book or never watch another movie?
Never watch another movie. I can't even stay away from movies. Like I don't have to watch a
Honestly,
movie.
same. I would never watch another movie again
I don't have
over
to
a
watch.
book. I'd rather read the book.
It takes me 3 days to watch a movie.
Same. Nowadays, I'll be struggling to watch
Right.
a full movie, especially if it's not like, because I like comedy, I like drama,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So if it's none of those, I'm definitely struggling.
Yeah. I like kids movies.
Hmm.
Or I just watched A Walk to Remember. Have you ever
What
seen
is
A
that
Walk to
about?
Remember?
Is that
I
about
don't know.
Jesus?
I feel like they was talking about it on the lines of The Notebook, but I just watched it. But it was pretty good, I guess.
Okay.
I like to watch movies that I've already seen before because I can't sit there and try to like really process
Yeah.
something new. And
A
it's
lot of
taking me
people say
days to pay
that. Yeah, a lot of
attention.
people say that same thing.
Is that bad?
I think it has to do with attention span.
I mean, well, yeah. I'm
Maybe a
falling
little
asleep.
ADHD.
I'm falling asleep, friend. I'm falling asleep. And when I go to the movies, I have to have snacks.
Oh, of course.
I have
That's
to.
the
That's
only
the
reason I
only
like to
way that I can
go.
pay attention. And I like to go to the movies in the morning. I don't like
For
to
the
go at.
day, the matinee.
I don't care
That's
nothing
when the
about
cheap
matinee. I
tickets,
like to
yeah.
go at 11, 12 so I can
Oh,
pay
that's
attention.
crazy. I'm a night movie person. I like to go to the movies at night, even though I be falling asleep.
I'll be asleep.
Like what's the most recent movie? Well, before that, Black Panther 2, I fell asleep in that movie.
I've never seen that one.
I had to go back and see it 3 times because I fell asleep every time. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. But no, I go to the movies at 11, 12 o'clock. Like
that's
I like
so
to,
crazy.
I still get the popcorn and everything. I just watch my movie, and I
But
have
see,
to get up
that's
in the
probably the
morning.
best time to go because you could probably get into the other theaters without.
Oh yeah, that too. Like I'm not around a lot of people.
Right. Like that's probably the best time to be like, oh, I'm
fresh.
gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what time does the
morning.
movies open?
I don't know. I didn't even know they had 11 o'clock shows until I went to go see the Bob Marley movie.
Okay.
And I went at like 11:15.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, I don't like going at night because I'm gonna go to sleep.
Yeah.
I bring a blanket on purpose.
Yeah,
so
the movies. I like going to the movies. Like I should start going more by myself.
Yeah. I haven't did that yet, but I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go in the morning.
Yeah. Maybe me too.
Yeah. Movies in the morning. But last one. Would you rather hear the good news or the bad news first?
Oh, I would rather hear the bad news first.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it depends on who's telling me, because like I could kind of gauge like what's really bad and what's like you say it's bad, but is it really bad?
Yeah.
Like if it's like one of my parents are like, well, we got bad news and we got good news. I'm like, what's the bad news? Somebody passed? You know, like what's the bad news? But if it's like somebody else, I could probably kind of gauge like what's considered good, what's bad. But yeah, tell me the bad first, then tell me the good, I guess.
If we have to pick.
Yeah.
I think I'm more of a tell me the good news. I have something good to hold on to.
Yeah.
Then if you tell me the bad, then I'm like, I can still look at the silver lining of what you said good.
True. But it's like, yeah, just give me the bad and then tell me the good.
Yeah, because then if you tell
me it up after.
I was going to say, if you tell me the bad news first, I might not be able to hear the good news.
That is true. Depending on what it is. Yeah, you might be too zoned out. Yeah. You might be too like overthinking the bad news. Yeah. Well, when you put it that way.
I'm still, you said what now?
Right.
Oh, but on another note, I'm like, I ain't on the other note.
Right.
I'm on the first
one. But on the other side, on the flip side, you won $50,000.
What did you say? But yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that is our icebreaker. Y'all feel free to answer the questions in the comments below. The same questions that we asked each other. Y'all can answer them below.
And our episode today, to get into our real talk segment, is just say no.
Yes.
Talking about all things no.
Yes, talking about all things no. Just say no, the good old statement by who said that? Nancy Reagan with the kids and the drugs. Just say no.
I don't know, honey.
But that is not what we're talking about today. We're not talking about saying no to drugs, even though you should say no to drugs. We're talking about saying no in general. When people ask you things that you don't want to do, just say no. When people, are pushing your boundaries and they're doing things that you don't like, just say no. I don't like that. I don't want you to do that.
Yeah. I think it's important, like when we're thinking about, like you said, the boundaries, like just letting your no be no. I think that's really where we're just like, just say no and let it be.
Yeah.
No. Like, you don't have to explain or say why. But if it's something that is a request that you're like, hey, this ain't for me, just say no.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we get wrapped up in like saying no and how the other person is going to feel if we say no, or
Mm-hmm.
oh, we're going to let them down if we say no, so we feel obligated to do whatever is being asked of
Mm-hmm.
us. Um but it's important for us to remember like putting yourself first, like not doing the things, doing stuff that we don't want to do, because
Mm-hmm.
when we do things that we don't want to do, that only like chips away at like our self-esteem. It chips
Mm-hmm.
away at like our own self, because it's like, dang, like I don't even have the boundaries to say no.
Mm-hmm.
So like what's going on with me? And
Yeah.
it's like that sometimes that sucks, like
Yeah.
that realization of like, why can't I just say no and let it be no? Or like
Mm-hmm.
when I say no, like why do I renege and be like, well, actually, okay, I can't do Tuesday, but I can do Wednesday, knowing damn well you don't want to do either day, you know?
Right. Yeah, I think I'm getting a little bit more firmer with it, but I love how you
Mm-hmm.
said like it chips away at your self esteem because you don't think about it that way. Like you're really pondering and having like a internal conflict on I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to do this. I want to say no. I really don't want to do it, but I think I should just say
Mm-hmm.
yes. And it's like so much when you could just go with your first gut and just
Mm-hmm.
say no, I don't want to do it, or figure out like your way of saying
Mm-hmm.
it's not for me, or some other time. I don't know, but I do see the validity in just kind of just saying no
Mm-hmm.
versus taking on the request, because
Mm-hmm.
it does chip away at your self esteem, but also I think of it in a way of now, like you could be using that time for something else.
For sure. And
Like,
especially when it's like maybe you did have other plans to do something and now someone is asking you to do something else and you feel obligated to like make time for them. And it's
mm-hmm,
like, dang, like that's not even what I planned to do. Like I
right,
had X, Y, and Z to do for myself. Maybe I had things that I needed to do, but taking into consideration somebody else's needs and somebody else's wants over mine. And I feel like that's very detrimental.
yeah.
Like,
Because as at one point, like when does it end? And like that's kind of
mm-hmm,
like a cycle that you're starting with yourself when you're like in a space where you can't say it,
yeah,
and now you're just kind of putting others' priorities or needs over you. Then
over
it's like, what about
yours.
your
Hmm.
needs?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think sometimes we forget about that. Like it goes to kind of like people who are people pleasers
Mm-hmm.
and like they feel the need to, like please other people. And it's like, but what about you? Like you always say yes to everyone else, but what about when it's time to say yes to yourself
Right.
and make that time for yourself and like stick to those boundaries for yourself? Where does
Mm-hmm.
that come in?
I agree. I think it's just kind of thinking of it from a space of like, how do you say your no?
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
because it's very difficult to say no.
Mhm.
One, because you're thinking of, hey, how do I say it? But also, what is this person gonna
Think
say?
or
You
say
think,
back.
say back, or what if they try to coerce you into
Mhm.
still doing it and you've already said your no?
Mhm.
I think all of those things play a factor into why we're just like, ooh, we play all those scenarios out and it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it so I don't have to deal
Mhm.
with
Deal with
it.
it.
But when you put it in the perspective that you said it like, hey, it is all about your needs and it's all about making sure that you take care of you
Mhm.
first.
Mhm.
That goes back into that space of it's all right to just say no
Mhm.
sometimes,
Yeah.
all the time,
Yeah,
really.
like it's okay to say no, because they'll figure it out. There was a book that I read. The name is failing me, but it was the Boundary Book,
Oh, by
by Nedra
Netra
Nedra
Webb.
Tweb.
Is it?
Is it Web
I don't
Tweb
know,
Queb?
but
I'm so
I love
sorry.
her though.
Yeah, when I was reading that, it was one chapter where she talked about, of course, boundaries and saying
Mm-hmm.
no, and how um, when people kind of go against your boundary of saying no, that's when you have the, you know, space to either continue to have a relationship with them or cut it off altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's important too, because it's like if I say no to something that somebody is asking me to do and they're trying to coerce me at this point, or they're trying to like persuade me to do what they need me to do, now you're not respecting me. Now you're not
Right.
respecting my boundary, or now you're pretty much putting yourself above me. And we ain't doing that. We're not doing that.
Yeah, and I think it's like going back to how you're saying, like, you can't worry about what people are going to feel or what people are going to think if you say no.
Yeah.
If they're angry, if they're upset, that's their feelings. That's not yours. But if you feel instant relief that you said, which we do, like, once we finally stand up and we're like, no, I'm not doing that. It feels so weird, but then it starts feeling a bit more empowering as you're really holding that, autonomy for yourself and saying, oh, I can do this or that. I like this. I don't like that. When someone says, hey, can you pull in an extra 2 hours? You get to say no because you can use that 2 hours for what you want. That feels better. So it's like, it's all about how do you feel versus fixating on, ooh, how does that person feel? And that's right. Like, you should be able to say, if that person doesn't respect that, then you're not respecting me as a person.
Yeah.
So where does the relationship lie?
Right, there is no relationship. Yeah, like
where does it lie?
Yeah.
And I think that's the space of being able to understand when you need your, I guess, like, your space, or like you really understand your protective factors at that point of like, no. So this is what I'm not going to do, and on top of that, this is what I don't like from people.
Yeah. Like, and I think that's important, is to recognize, like, what is it that you, or how is it that you feel comfortable saying no? Because we all have different ways of saying no. And all of us can't just say no. Some of us feel the need to explain why we're saying no. And that's like stage one, beginner stage. Eventually you learn to just leave it at no. But I think it's important to, like, kind of, give yourself that grace as you're learning how to say no, because it is, like, tough, especially the people pleasers out there, when it's like you're actually learning how to no longer put other people before yourself. That can be a process of, like, how do I just say no to the things that I know that I don't want to do, but also, keep those bridges intact, or still keep those relationships intact. And I think that goes to, like, knowing who the other person is, on how to say no, because some people can't just take no for an answer.
Yeah,
they're gonna ask questions.
I was gonna say, like, there is a way to get a little bit more creative with your no, because I do consider, like, when someone kind of comes back with it in a different way, and you're having to restate that boundary. And so no might not be enough clarification in terms of understanding, like, I meant what I said. So sometimes when you, like, figure out and coin what your no looks like, it's like, I'm going to say this again because that's what I said.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's just it. How you take that, that's your business. But for me, that means, I'm not engaging and whatever. But I do think it's difficult, and it's a little bit odd when we think of no, and it's like, what does that mean?
Because how do you, or like, how many times do you give people to go against your boundary?
I would say I'm starting to learn that I'm a 3-strike type of girl.
Okay.
I'm getting annoyed. By strike 1, you've already irritated me.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to give you some grace.
Yeah.
Strike 2, you're on the cusp. Strike 3, that's it. Yeah. And I feel like it's just strikes because I do want to have grace, and I really do want to have some mercy depending on the situation. Now, if it's something that's a bit more disrespectful, then that's it. That's a wrap. But I do want to be forgiving and practice that. But I feel like I'm a 3-strike. Like, I'm going to say it to you. Maybe some people are a little bit more, their elevator is not on 10. So
right, so they're not getting it on the first time.
Maybe you didn't understand me the first time. Maybe we're still in the lobby. So I'm like, okay, let me try to help you understand what I'm saying here. Because I'm still not backing down. And then, yeah, I would say honestly 2 or 3.
Yeah, I would agree with that. 2, really 2.
Really 2.
3 if I really like you, because 2, I feel like you shouldn't have did it in the first place. So now I'm telling you that one time. Then the second time was me being nice, or me giving you grace. Maybe you didn't understand. Maybe you needed it to be said a different way. Maybe I need to reiterate. Because that's the thing with boundaries. It's like, sometimes you got to tell people a couple times for them to really
A
get it.
couple.
Because you have those people that want to go against your boundaries and people who want to test that and see if you're serious. So sometimes you got to, reiterate it. But I'm not saying it no more than 3 times. After that,
I'm over it.
I'm over it. I'm over you.
I'm over it, and I shouldn't have to do that. Like, be respectful.
Yeah.
Don't try to figure out another way to ask me what I said no to the first time. Like, you know what you're doing. I don't have to call you out about what you're doing because we know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to state what I said before. But I tried by like the third time, like if you understand where we're at, got an idea, there should be no reason why you don't understand when action takes place. You didn't understand words, so now we're at the actions.
Yeah.
Now we're on the actions.
What are the actions, friend?
I'm over it. I'm with I don't want to pronounce her name wrong. Is it Nitra?
Oh, from the book? Yeah, I think Nedra.
I don't want to kind of just continue to reinforce that. So clearly you like, some people like when you talk to them and they like to have that back and forth, or, I'm going to tell her, I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm going to take action, and, maybe you can not understand what I'm saying. Maybe you can reply, but I'm over it.
Yeah. Like, I'm at this point, it is what it is.
Like, I can still be cordial and involved, and it's just like, I said what I said.
Yeah. It definitely depends on what it is, for sure. Like, depends on what boundary is being pushed. Yeah.
Yeah. I said what I said. Sometimes it's one time. It's starting to get to one. My patience. As
my patience is getting a lot thinner, especially with things that I feel like are common sense.
Or just like common sense or consideration.
Yeah. Right. Like, that goes to common sense.
Does consideration have to be a one-on-one?
I don't know, because a lot of people lack that.
Like,
they really do.
Would you want that done to you?
Would you?
Treat people how you want to be treated.
Period.
Like, that's really a life lesson. When we
for real.
Like, treat people how you want to be treated. Stop asking me to do things that you don't even want to do.
Yeah. Like, don't ask me to do nothing that you wouldn't want me to ask you to do.
I'm not doing it. So I think I'm trying to work on my patience. I really am. But I think it gets to a certain point where with my patience, I'm like, all right. you on my last one.
You on my last one.
And I'm out.
Yeah.
A little bit quicker. I don't know. Has there ever been a time where you like, it was like a hell no? I think that's
against my boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember when I had like, it's gonna be a no for me type of thing.
Like, it's something that somebody has done the first time that I said, oh, hell no. Nah.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to think. I think when people catch me off guard or they do something that's like really, like just really just, oh wow, like that's not for me. Oh,
because I have one particular boundary. Well, I don't know if it's a boundary yet. I haven't set it. But as far as work, so I have a particular coworker, I'll say. And this story is false. It's true, but it's false. But I have a particular coworker who always hits me on a Teams chat. Like, hey, do you have a quick second? Hey, do you have a quick second? Hey, do you have a quick second? No, I don't have a quick second. But I feel obligated to say, yeah, okay, what's up? Like, obviously you need something. So, yeah, I have a quick minute. Or, hey, yeah, I have a second. So, I'm in a place now where I'm trying to figure out where to create that boundary at, because, damn, leave me alone. But it's work. So, I feel like...
Yeah, the work boundaries can be a little bit more
tricky. Yeah.
And I've just started noticing, like, if you give me a window and you say, oh, can you do X, Y, Z, or it's okay if you don't,
I'm not doing it then. Don't give me the option not to do it, because I'm not going to do it.
Is it a choice?
Right.
Because I'm going to choose the right choice. But I agree, like what you're saying, if you have a situation like that and it's like, hey, can you do X, Y, Z? Like, I'll entertain your thought, but I'm also going to creatively set it to where, like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, because my whole thing is just like, I don't want to do all that talking. Number one. And then it's like an every week thing.
Mm-mm.
We're not friends.
Mm-mm.
You know, so it's like, damn, what do you want?
Yeah,
And
I would just figure out a way to say that.
yeah, because it's kind of like, in a way, you just always need something.
Mm-mm.
And why am I the first source for that? So how do I set that boundary? Like,
Hey, do you have a quick second? Unfortunately, I don't.
yeah, I'm gonna have to start saying no, I don't. Not at this
Or just
moment.
say I'm full to capacity for today.
Yes, maybe we can schedule it for tomorrow. But that goes back to that.
No.
Yeah, that goes
Because you don't
back to
ever
what I said earlier.
Don't be putting in there what you gonna do, because then they gonna be like, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have a quick second? You say, unfortunately,
not at this moment.
Not at this moment, or something like that. Not right now.
Not right now. So going into that though, like, what are some ways that the people could say no? Like, or how are...
Well, as a boundary queen myself, like, I think you should say, okay, I have to think of situations and scenarios here. So, like, your situation, unfortunately, no, I do not. It's kind of how I would say that. If somebody wanted you to do a task on top of your task, I would say, hey, I have set obligations. I'm unable to fulfill yours.
Yeah. Because I have something else going on
to fulfill your task. And I have set things, and that's not going to work. You can always use, like, your space. So, you know, like how some people say, I ain't even gonna say how some people say, what about if somebody comes to your house and they're like, hey, do you have time for me to come to your house? And it's like, no. Like, this is my personal time.
Speaking of that, there was this thing this guy was talking about. He's not that close with his mother and his sister, but like they're close enough, like they're just now getting like a close relationship. And he moved out. He has his own place now, and his mom and his sister always want to come over to his place, but he doesn't want them coming over to his place. Like, this is his first apartment. He wants his own space, but he doesn't know how to tell his mom and his sister they need to stop coming over unannounced and shit.
This is my first apartment. This is my space, and I like to have personal time.
Yeah, I would really appreciate personal time.
Yeah, and just let me know when you want to come so we can figure it out.
Yeah. I agree. Like, I think you just got to tell them.
Be really straightforward.
Like,
you can't
even. It's no beating around the bush when it comes to boundaries.
No,
you just got to say it straight out.
You got to say it straight out. And then if somebody feels some type of way, you know, respectfully, you're entitled to feel how you feel, and just understand for yourself in that moment. I'm like, it would be good for us to have some space for a minute.
Yeah.
So that way we can come back and talk about things. But if it's like very personal for you, I would say it. If it's something that boundary was just immediately crossed, like, you know, maybe we're having a heated argument and you just started cussing me out or something. I don't know. I'm speaking hypothetically.
Yeah.
But like, you really cuss me out. It's like, hey, I would respect if you would either speak with your words or we not talk at all.
Yeah. Yeah, like use regular words in a regular tone. We're not outside.
Right. I'm like, I don't want to be reactive with you. I'm not going to tell you not to talk to me like that. Maybe you don't understand or tapped into common sense yet, but you should have some.
Yeah.
Everybody has a little.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I'm not going to talk down to you, but either speak to me properly or not at all. And I think people get really offended when you say like the not at all piece, because it's like, we can either do this or not.
Yeah, they get offended because they know that they're wrong and they don't want to be called out. And they don't want you to have control in the situation.
Yeah, and I like to call people out. I think it's one of my strengths.
That's good. I think a lot of people should get called out.
Yeah, I like to, but I don't look at it as I'm calling you out. I like to hold people accountable. Yeah, I want to be held accountable.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like to reflect that because I like accountability, because you don't know unless somebody tells you. And it's like, you don't get to talk to people crazy. You don't get to ask people to do things that you know for a fact they shouldn't. And that person doesn't get fed up and say, hey, I'm not doing it anymore. Yeah. What did you think?
What did you think was going to happen? Yeah.
Like, this was just going to work for you? So, and stop taking advantage of people. On the flip side.
That's the thing.
Stop. Like, you're taking advantage of that person.
Yeah. And it's so wrong to be taking advantage of them.
it's very wrong and it's getting out of control.
Yeah.
So I say just call it like it is, say it straightforward, and be confident in it now.
Yeah. Well, that goes to standing firm. Like standing firm in your no. It's like if you're gonna say no, say no.
Boss up.
Boss
once
up.
you say no.
Yeah, ain't no just leave it at that. No, period. Ain't nothing else after that. Like
once you call it out, don't be pity patting. Well, I didn't mean it that way. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Like stand firm and I said no, I'm not doing it. And if they try to convince you, they try to coerce, they try to do that, it's still no. Yeah. I'm not doing it.
I mean, and call people out. Like
call people out.
You know, I think you're being an ass, and you know,
right. Like, it sounds like you're trying to persuade me to do something that I'm not trying to do.
And that's what it is. And if you're not, then that's that's communication. That's an opportunity for us to communicate. But if you start defending yourself,
right, then I'm just gonna leave you where you're at because now
defend yourself and be the victim, we have no time.
Yeah, now we're out of time.
Now we've run out. But yeah, I just say it straightforward, whatever it is.
Yeah, just stand firm in it. Just be straight up with it. Say no. And be confident, like you said. A lot of times, if we are just confident in the things that we say, people will be like, "All right, she said no, she can't do it. Let me call somebody else." Yeah, that's all they're gonna do is okay. Let me call the next person on my list.
Yeah, I need to. Maybe that's a good idea. I might have to write a little boundaries. This is how you say what you need to say.
Right, a little pamphlet,
because
booklet.
We need a pamphlet because it's really that simple. Like you can say whatever you want to say, and you can be kind about it and firm about it without feeling like you've wronged somebody. Yeah, like if somebody feels wrong, then it's just true.
Yeah. It is what it is.
It hits home, and that's all right.
That's okay. I mean, look, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's a duck.
Right. So if they feel offended, 9 times out of 10, they were the offender. So why are you upset with it?
Yeah. Just fix your ways. Then if you don't like being called out for what you do, then switch it up. Do something different.
Change.
Do something more acceptable.
We're never too young or too old to change.
Never. We should be changing and growing daily. Yeah.
Once you stop growing,
you should be concerned.
Right. You should be concerned. You might be a little stuck.
Yeah.
You might be a little stuck, honey. But
so yeah,
our real life. I feel like that was a good package. Real life. Do you have anything else to add, maybe to your point there?
Not really. I feel like just stand firm in what you say. Be confident in your no.
Yeah, I love that. Be confident and just I just say this: if it's a hell no for you,
say hell no.
I mean, honestly, it's just no. Like that's a strong no. So if it is a hell no for you, you need to start pointing your hell no's in your nose. And
because there's a difference. Some things are just a no. Some things are a hell no.
Like you really had me messed up.
Yeah. It might even be a hell no.
Like, you really had me messed up. And you just gotta figure out how do you say which one is which.
Yeah.
If you want to be nice about it and a bit more kinder,
that's on you.
Yep. And being direct is not your thing.
Practice.
Right. There's no way to get around that.
Yeah. Because directness and assertiveness is an important trait. So practice it.
I would agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is the end of our episode. And so we will close out with our IG of follow us at whatsthepoint_pod. And our personal _ I love New York.
And follow me at Devin.Nicole. That's Devin with the A, Nicole with 2 E's. And don't forget our vibe of this week is
No. Maybe I'll sing the song. Yeah. Is it no?
I think it's 3 no's. No by Destiny's Child.
I'm singing no. It's no. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
But it's no by Destiny Child.
Yeah. And I don't know. They have a part 1 and they have a remix, but same thing.
I don't think I removed the remix.
With Wyclef Jean. It's the fast one. Anyway.
I don't remember. Okay, but anyway.
Y'all go check it out.
Check it out. Listen to the soundtrack. Do all of the things. And we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.